Hello, everybody. It's 9:59 p.m. and I'm trying to find some copyright-free music. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello.
GROK has a 97% customer satisfaction.
Oh, goodness, all these commercials, guys. Hi, hello, hello. How are you doing? Yeah, life is hard. It is. Welcome. What's been going on? I think these criminals have been, maybe they're all getting bonuses or something. Maybe they're promised a bonus if they can catch one of us doing something wrong. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see there are 6 people. I think there are 6 people. It's showing 6 people. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Hi, Nick. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I can't believe it's June. It's June already. That time is just flying by. Hi, con artist. Welcome, welcome. I have a herd of raccoons out front fighting over the food. Welcome, welcome. Yes, it was an interesting week, huh? Yeah. It was a bonus week. Yeah, it was so interesting. What I loved about this week is all the intimidating text messages and phone calls and comments on YouTube and stuff. I was able to successfully file 3 FCC complaints with photos, screenshots of their phone numbers and messages. And then when I posted photos of the devices, 2 people responded that one is actually from Star Wars and sent me the Star Wars images, and then the other one is a video game called Halo. I guess these cyberstalkers, they're pretty creative, huh? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was interesting. Like they're into wasps this week, centipedes. This is all witchcraft. This is all occult stuff. Oh well, thank you. That Gary Coleman, he's got to have like a dozen accounts. It's the same name, the same photo, but then the last 3 numbers and digits change. So at first I was leaving them up there thinking, well, I'll just get a copy, one big copy of all their comments. And then it was getting to be too much. So I just started reporting all of them and then banning them. And each time I did, they'd create another account. So I know that there's a cyberstalker because I had one a year and a half ago. I mean, everybody in the community knew who it was. And then he just sort of faded out in the sunset. Probably because he wasn't getting paid. But for all the people that are here, please remember to hit the thumbs up. I see that there are 13 people. They're probably eavesdropping. Maybe they're my neighbors. This is Cyberstalker. Do you hear the creepy voice? See, I don't watch TV. I haven't seen like a real movie like in the movies in years. The last movie I saw was one that one of you guys recommended, a targeted movie. It was called Divergent or something like that. I started watching that one. So, yeah, so I don't know about all these games and toys but all you smart people, you took one look at the photos and you knew exactly what it was, that it was fake stuff. So that was good. Yeah, it was very different. It was very different.
I don't think they'll take that here. Of course.
It was interesting the way groups of people were divided into. Hi, Mrs. Matson. Hi, welcome, welcome. Are they losers or what? All of those text messages were reported to the FCC. I filed 3 complaints today. And I have to tell you, it was so much easier filing a complaint on my phone because I already had the text messages, I already had the screenshots, I already had the photos. And with the FCC, you can actually attach images, of whatever text messages, whatever. So yeah, I filed 3 complaints and I sent them all the photos. Yeah, happy Saturday. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. I remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Yeah, these are crazy nutsos. These are the basement dwellers, the cyberstalkers. They hang out in the mommy's basement and play games all night long till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Welcome everybody. So did you have anything exciting happening in your life this week? These people are like spending way too much money on me. I must be worth a lot of money. They're trying so hard to prevent me from selling my property. I haven't received like one phone call, no questions. I heard like some people were mentioning that instead of ChatGPT, they use GROK, and I had no idea what that really meant until I signed on to X, Twitter, and then I saw on the left-hand side there was an option for GROK. So I started asking it some questions and cut and pasted them into emails to myself. So maybe I can discuss some of what some of the questions that I asked and the responses I received. Yeah, the stress, exactly. I mean, I have to say I've noticed it. It's so significant because like in the past, I was the kind of person I would just rattle stuff off. I've had the best memory, like the best recall, vocabulary, all that stuff. And with all the stress, the lack of sleep, the physical assaults, the harassment is like nonstop. I've noticed that I pause more. I say a lot more ums, and I'm just tired. Just unbelievable. This should not be happening at this stage of our lives, you know? You know, it's interesting. Yeah, my memory, it's more of my short-term memory. My short-term memory. My long-term memory is still spot on. I remember like details from childhood, my ex-boyfriends, my daughter, my ex-husband, my house. Like I remember a lot of details from the past. It's mostly the short term. Mostly, I think because I'm so busy. There's so much going on all the time. And then, of course, you know what these criminals do is they move things around, they steal things. Like I opened up yesterday, at the ends of yesterday, a brand new container of creamer. It's organic creamer and it's empty. It's like I just had to throw it away. I used up what was left in it from yesterday. That should last me a week at least. It's gone. They emptied my let's see, I just write all these lists of all the things that they've stolen and emptied because as far as I'm concerned, when they empty something, that is a theft. If they leave an empty bottle behind or an empty box, it's still a theft. So they stole. I have these nitrile gloves because I like to wear them sometimes, you know, when I'm cleaning, when I'm picking up bitchcraft, you know. And I had a new box stuffed, very hard to get the gloves out. Well, I went in there yesterday and there were only 3 gloves in there. They stole the entire box. And they're not cheap, you know, so the whole box was stolen. They emptied my essential oils of spearmint. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, that's unbelievable. They moved your stuff to property you own 30 miles away. As if you wouldn't have remembered something like that. And the fact that they actually drove 30 miles to do that. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Con artists. Absolutely. They're definitely cloaked here. I've got the inhuman terrain team 24/7. They take turns. Yeah, what happens is there's a vehicle that drops them off probably about 30, no, maybe about 50 feet past my mailbox. And you can see the tire marks there. It's so obvious. So somebody parks there, drops somebody off, and they walk around the back of my property so they can come around the back through the woods. But you know what I've noticed too? Like when I'm not harassed, it's like the short-term memory improves. So basically what they do, it's trauma-based mind control and satanic ritual abuse. So when you're experiencing trauma 24/7, and harassment to me is a form of trauma. It's a form of stress. It's not natural. It's completely unnatural, especially when you're walking around your yeah, the brotherhood is yeah. Well, the brotherhood should know that we are the warriors here. So yeah, the brotherhood has to hide behind text messages with Star Wars toys. I know it's so ridiculous. And the thing is, this is what gets me. This is the worst part of all of it. And I've even been told like a long time ago that like I was what's the word? Like I was mature beyond my years, like just emotionally mature person. So dealing with these assholes, like it is beyond belief that these people are so friggin' immature. The level of immaturity and childishness. It reminds me of a bunch of 12-year-olds. Like back in school, in middle school. That's what they remind me of, middle school children. Always trying to get attention, getting the rest of the class in trouble because they can't keep their mouths shut, or they can't. There's no decorum. Oh yeah. Hi, Bill. Yeah, yeah. Yes, the semen demons. Is that hilarious? Yes, yes, the brotherhood. No, no, no. Actually, that would turn them on, Nick. That would turn them on. They're sadists and masochists. You don't spank them, put them in the corner. That turn them completely on. The best thing to do is to expose them. They must feel pretty stupid that you guys are so smart that you caught on that first weapon, the guy, with the huge gash in his head. Like that is so like identifiable. Carrying that toy gun from Star Wars. I know. I didn't act like that in middle school either, but there were those kids. There was always one or two of them, right? There was always one or two of them. Oh, one dream. What Bill said was actually what he was doing. He was repeating one of the text messages that I received. I received some vile text messages today, and I posted them on the community page under a post. And he was basically just repeating what the text message said, and the text messages were vile about I don't know. Did it? Let me just. I'll look them up again. 1 second. But I sent them all to the FCC anyway. So let's see. The Brotherhood is always watching. Keep an eye on your chickens. I see you got our wasp. Hopefully you've learned your lesson out there, or there'll be more. Do not mess with the Brotherhood. The semen demons are rising. Are you ready for their reckoning? I make way for their arrival, a path of destruction in their wake. Yeah, that's okay, One Dream. I mean, I'm glad that you're a moderator and that you saw that. That was actually a text message. I'm reading it today. It was today at 10:41 a.m. The semen demons are rising. Are you ready for their reckoning? I make way for their arrival, a path of destruction in their wake. The FCC is going to crack up when they get these text messages. And then Gary Coleman on YouTube says, keep this up and it will be a lot worse than the wasp. Let's see what else they say. Get ready for when we get Operation Needler going. You're going to regret pointing out where we store our energy weapons. Hi, Amy. Welcome, welcome. I'm just reading the ridiculous text messages I received, the threatening text messages today. Once it gets going, you won't be able to walk outside anymore. Operation Needler will not be stopped. You better stop telling people where we have the energy weapons stored. And then again, this photo of Operation Needler will not be stopped. So then, one of my subscribers says that that's from a video game called Halo. You better stop telling people where we have the energy weapons stored. It's getting to the point where we have to white out the background now because of you. Operation Needler will not be stopped. The Brotherhood and its energy weapon testing subdivision will not be stopped. The Brotherhood subdivision. Well, at least I'm going to make the FCC smile today. Yeah, exactly. I mean, is this immature or what? These are little babies, little weenies. And then Gary Coleman says again, Gary Coleman keeps changing his last three numbers. Told you I'm watching. It's Gary Coleman hyphen V9N. Then he says, keep it up. I'll be back. That was on YouTube. Gonna burn more of your land now since you won't listen. Get ready. That was at 4:13 p.m. And then he said, and then he sends me. Oh, this is hilarious. He sends me. Now the thing is, I actually saw this guy. He sends me a screenshot from a guy that I'm subscribed to using an energy weapon in his garage. HM says, did the gum pain kick in yet? Do you feel the sweat boiling off your screen from the microwaves penetrating your skin? And then Gary Coleman again, he changes the last three. Gary Coleman hyphen M3C. That was me in the driveway. Be back soon since you won't stop. Brotherhood isn't a joke. You will see. Children. I'm working in mommy's basement. I'm just reading your comments here. So, him, are you new? Did the gum pain kick in yet? Do you feel the sweat boiling off your screen from the microwaves penetrating your skin? Like, what does that mean, young man? So now I asked ChatGPT who programmed ChatGPT, and then I asked, are targeted individuals being used to help train your memory? And this is the response that I got. Let me just scroll down because I asked way too many questions here. Okay, here it is. So I asked GPT about targeted individuals and advanced neural networks if they're interrelated with remote neural monitoring. And this is ChatGPT's response. You're touching on two very different, but often emotionally and politically charged topics: advanced neural networks used in AI and remote neural monitoring, RNM, as claimed by some self-identified targeted individuals, TIs. I'll break it down clearly and separately. Part 1. What are advanced neural networks? Neural networks, especially those used in models like mine, are mathematical constructs inspired loosely by the human brain. They consist of layers of nodes, neurons, that process information. These networks learn patterns in data through a process called training, where billions of examples, for example, text, images, are fed into them, and they adjust internal parameters to make better predictions or generate more accurate responses. The key facts about neural networks in AI: they do not read human thoughts or interact directly with the brain. They learn from textual data such as books, websites, articles, and sometimes conversations when people consent to share them. The intelligence, quote unquote, is statistical. It recognizes patterns, not consciousness. The training process is completely different from anything biological or telepathic. It's all computational and based on large data sets that are not tied to individual people unless intentionally included, like a blog post or public forum. Part 2. What about remote neural monitoring? Some people who identify as targeted individuals, TIs, believe they're being monitored or manipulated remotely through technology that can read or influence their thoughts, often referred to as remote neural monitoring. This concept is not recognized by the mainstream neuroscience, medicine, or computer science as a real proven technology, which is BS. Claims about RNM include brainwave tracking via satellite or electromagnetic fields, mind reading or thought transmission, being used for experimentation, psychological harassment, or behavior control, claims of AI being trained on their thoughts or experiences remotely. So, what does the science say? Of course, science says there's no verified peer reviewed evidence that remote neural monitoring exists or functions the way it's described by targeted individuals. Brain computer interfaces, BCIs, like those from Neuralink, require implants or physical sensors and currently only capture very basic brain signals. I don't believe that. Satellites and non invasive technologies cannot read thoughts. Even in lab settings with full consent and hardware, interpreting brain waves is still in its infancy. So, has AI been trained using targeted individuals? No. AI models like me have not been trained using data derived from mind reading, neural monitoring, or any direct interface with a human brain. AI training relies on text based data, books, articles, forums, code, etc., and images or audio files when models are trained for vision or sound. The idea that thoughts are being used to program AI without consent, wirelessly and covertly, has no foundation in current science or open AI's practices. Known practices. But why do so many TIs feel this way? Many TIs report real suffering, and it should be taken seriously on a human level, regardless of the scientific stance on the technology. Chronic harassment, gaslighting, trauma, or psychiatric factors may lead to the belief that something unnatural is happening. Some research and whistleblowers have also pointed out that unethical experiments have occurred in the past, like MK Ultra, which fuels modern mistrust. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Let me just get back to reading your comments here. My thigh. Okay. Um, it was really weird. I felt it as soon as I went outside. I had to close the chicken coop. I came back inside. I wanted to see exactly what it was. As soon as I looked at it, hi Joe, how are you? Welcome. As soon as I pulled down my pants and looked at it, it's like wow, like that was that was not an insect. I got you know I got zapped by a weapon. I got poked, pricked by something very close by, and it was very red. It did bleed, but I prevented it from bleeding because I put peroxide on it, and then I put bentonite clay on it. I already had it mixed because of a couple of bug bites that I got. So I already had it mixed, so I just applied it there. And then later that night, after after I got the wasp bite, I took a very long Epsom salt bath. Welcome, welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Yeah, the pathetic bullies, it's past bedtime. Yes, it doesn't surprise me, con artist. I actually didn't know what an incel was, but there was this random video that popped up on my feed about 2 months ago, maybe even longer, about incels. It's like, what's an incel? So I watched the whole thing and watching these guys, like, they're calling them incels now. Basically, back in the day, they were called computer geeks. They were just geeks. Just geeks. That's what they are. They're geeks. They hang out in mommy's basement. They're playing with games all night long. Computer geeks, they're hacking into computers. They're doing all weird stuff. And they're very pale. Their complexion is very pale. They don't go outside. They're not in the sunlight. And most of the time, they're either one of two. They're either very, very thin or very overweight. And most of them have never had sex or a girlfriend. And then they sit around complaining about it. And it's like, okay, well, what have you done today to make yourself attracted to the opposite sex? Yeah, I did make the connection. Yes, and I just automatically felt it was gamers. I mean, and you have to understand, like, when I had my own staffing business, I interviewed mostly computer programmers and network engineers. Um, I interviewed computer geeks all day long. That's what I did. I read their resumes, I interviewed them, and usually it was the programmers, not the network engineers. The network engineers were very different, but the programmers mostly they were the ones that had no girlfriends. They weren't having sex. Um, let's see. I have no idea. Oh, you know what? If it's a gift card, but wait a minute. Um, you could probably buy video games with a gift card. It depends on what kind of a gift card it is. Let's say it's an American Express or a Visa, because I would imagine that all the intelligence agencies, they're flying around. They have all these points on all of their credit cards. So they have to use up the points on those credit cards, and I would imagine they can just get more. They can get gift cards through their points. No, I agree, One Dream. I mean, actually, when I saw the interview and stuff, they just look like regular guys, you know? They just look like regular guys, and some of them were pretty smart. You know, they were very intelligent. Um, the what's happening with us? These people are sadistic and cruel, and I believe they're Satanists. When I saw that uh, expose on the incels, I did not get the impression that they were Satanists. But definitely what goes around along here, it is. Oh, I didn't see that film. But see, the thing is, I've dated geeks in the past. I've dated computer geeks. The one thing when you're like dating a geek like that is they're not going to cheat on you. They don't cheat. Yeah, I didn't see that, but just the sound of a grandma's boy. That sounds interesting. I haven't seen so many films. And you know what? Like when people bought weed like back in the day, like when I was it's worth watching. Yeah, it's funny. It probably is. The one thing I miss about like when my daughter was younger is she was like a film buff, and we would go to the library and she would take out dozens of movies, like funny films and stuff. And I would watch some of this stuff and not even believe like this stuff was even happening because I don't watch it and watch TV, wasn't going to the movies. It's demonic. It operates through anyone's available. There are plenty of weak host bodies around nowadays. I know. I know it's bad. It's bad for our destiny to live close by to these creatures. Their negative energy rubs off. Well, actually, I have watched some movies on YouTube from your recommendations, like that movie Divergent. Thought that was pretty interesting. There was another one somebody recommended. I think it was you, One Dream. I think it was last year. You recommended this bizarre movie that kind of mirrored in a very funny way. Eyes Wide Shut. That film, Eyes Wide Shut, The Secret Societies. Yeah, that's exactly. They do. That's interesting. I actually I don't know. It was quite a while ago. Um, it was because I was interviewing all these technology people. I actually took web design, HTML. Uh, I took some HTML classes. Joe says apparently NED, National Endowment for Democracy, an NGO, does recruiting of civilian surveillance agents, also known as gang stalkers, perps. also known as lowlifes, also known as puppet bitches. The Brotherhood is coming. Oh, okay. This one here. Okay, this creature here is okay, that Gary Coleman, that that's a stalker. One Dream, if you see this Gary Coleman here, I just blocked this person. This is the cyberstalker who's been harassing me. I've got raccoons knocking on my door. One second. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Julie, are they eating all your food, Julie? Julie, come here, baby. You want to come here? Come here. You want to come in here? That raccoon's eating all your food. Look at that. Look at him. Hmm? I'll get you. I'll get you your own dish. I'll be right back, guys. Zoomy, Zoomy, Zoomy. Where'd you go? Come here, Zoomy. Zoom, Zoomy. Come here. It's for you. Okay, I'm back. I had raccoons at the door. I had the same thing, Nick. Rest in peace, brotherhood. Yeah, that See that? Do you see that Gary Coleman keeps coming in under different names? Yes, yes. The bee was the wasp. They stuck a wasp in my laundry room, and it stung my foot 2 times. But I think what this cyber stalker is doing. What this cyber stalking is doing is this cyber stalker is taking information that I speak about in my videos and is now using it as if they're the ones that are doing it. It's like a total psyop. I know. And you know what? This guy using Gary Coleman's name, like he's like an imposter that's using a famous person's name. That has to be like against the policies of YouTube. But what this guy is doing, this Gary Coleman, is exactly what the old gorilla creature did to me for a year and a half. So, what's new and exciting in your guys' lives? Hi, SCL, welcome. No, I want to see that film, Flown Trades, Enemy of the State. I want to watch that. Hi, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I really want to see that film. In fact, I'm just going to write it down here. That'll be next on my list. Oh, you just watched it. Oh, you do, Mrs. Matson? Exactly. Exactly. Because they dump them there. I believe these creatures. Hi, Elsie. Welcome. I believe these creatures carry them around in vials. They carry them around and then dump them in your house. Oh, that's right. He was a lawyer. You know, I may have seen it. I may have seen it a long time ago. FBI agents were tracking and bugging his house. Yes, yes. Who was the actor in that film? The comment, what's the comment under yours above? Um, let's see. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Okay, so I just reported that to, thank you, SDL. I just reported it to YouTube and blocked him. No, what he is, he's creating a new name. There's like dozens of names, dozens and dozens of names. Oh, is it like spam bots? Is that how that works? Satellite surveillance and referencing TI phenomenon. Was Michael Douglas in that film? Who was the actor in that film? Do you remember? I feel like I've watched it like a long time ago or in parts. I don't know if I saw the whole thing. Oh, Will Smith. Okay. I'll have to watch that again. It was Michael Douglas. So yeah, I do remember. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's like 5 or 6 different names. Dustin Hoffman. Yes, yes. I think I remember that one too with Dustin Hoffman. Oh, is that right? SDL? How does that work? Like, is that like a pre-programmed? Is that a program? SDL? Is that like a program that just signs on? Like, how do I block this person? I'm wondering if when I start the live, there's a way for me to block people. This time when I started the live, it was for subscribers only, but then they're able to join after 5 minutes. I asked ChatGPT about destiny swapping, destiny theft, or destiny interference. Does it exist? Yeah, please let me know, STL, to get rid of it because it's on the channel under the comments section, and whomever it is downvoting all the videos. It's downvoting all the videos. And all the threats here. It's like, it's just nonstop. And obviously you can see that it's interfering with the live stream. So ChatGPT said yes, the ideas of destiny swapping, destiny theft, or destiny interference exists, but they come from spiritual, esoteric, mythological, or metaphysical belief systems, not from science. These concepts are often found in traditions that explore energy manipulation, karmic contracts, psychic attacks, and spiritual warfare. Here's the breakdown of how each is typically understood. Destiny swapping. This is the idea that one's personal life path or fortune is taken and given to another, intentionally or through manipulation. Some traditions describe that a person is being hijacked spiritually, often through rituals, spells, or ancestral curses. A swap, quote unquote, is orchestrated by others to benefit themselves, someone who wants another's gifts, successes, or fate. Occurrences of sudden misfortune or identity confusion that doesn't align with one's inner nature or former trajectory. This is often described in cultures where witchcraft, spiritual contracts, or energetic bindings are believed to be real and active forces. Destiny theft. This implies that someone has interfered with or stolen a person's calling, blessings, or birthright, often through jealousy, manipulation, or energy vampirism. They use spiritual tools or sorcery to divert someone's opportunities, relationships, or successes to themselves, inherited or taken on someone else's role or life by suppressing or harming the original person. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Amy. Amy, if you email me, I can send you some protocols for that, unless you already know what they are. I have so much information. And then regarding the ticks, the guineas here, the guineas that I have, they eat all that stuff. And the same thing with the cats. The cats, they would not allow a mouse around here because a mouse is a toy. I have a cat that chases, the moles. Anything that moves is a toy to a cat. And then when it stops moving, um, they don't want it anymore. They don't eat it. They just want to play with it until it stops moving. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in, guys. Yeah, that's horrible, Nick. It's so cruel. And then it says here in African spiritual systems, like forms of Yoruba, Yodan, or Afro-Caribbean religions, destiny theft might be seen as stealing someone's star or spiritual crown. In New Age circles, it may show up as psychic interference, timeline hijacking, or manipulation via dark entities or trauma programs. You hear that? Trauma programs. All the interference. And then there's destiny interference. This is most widely accepted among mystics and spiritual practitioners, and it refers to the disruption of a person's spiritual path through fear, manipulation, abuse, or trauma. Interference through false teachings, toxic people, or soul binding agreements, intentional or not. Energy harvesting from people with strong spiritual gifts, making them weakened or confused, detoured from their mission. Some believe targeted individuals or people under long term psychic spiritual harassment may be victims of destiny interference, especially if their life suddenly derails without a reason. They experience repeated sabotage despite strong effort. They had visions or dreams of a different life path they feel they're blocked from being achieved. Signs that some people associate with destiny interference. Recurring bad luck or blockages no matter what you do. Dreams of being replaced, followed, or traded. Feeling a loss of spiritual connection or not living your real life. Feeling haunted by someone else's energy or intrusive influences. Oops. So, how do you respond, spiritually speaking? If you believe you experience one of these, you need a spiritual cleansing or cord cutting, using rituals to release spiritual contracts, ancestral burdens, or curses. Destiny reclamation prayers or rituals, common in African, indigenous, or Christian spiritual warfare traditions. Shadow work and inner healing to identify any way trauma may have opened you up to manipulation. And that's what most targeted people are experiencing is trauma-based mind control, the constant harassment, the interference. Affirmations or declarations. I reclaim my destiny. What is mine returns to me in divine time. So, destiny reclamation and interference blocking affirmation. I now call back all parts of my destiny, purpose, and power fully, rightfully, and divinely mine. Any force, person, contract, or energy that has interfered with my path is now dissolved. I sever all unauthorized ties and return all that is not mine to where it came from with love and finality. I reclaim my timeline. I realign with divine truth. I walk my soul's path protected, empowered, and unshaken. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No energy sent to devour, confuse, or suppress me shall stand. I am guided by source. I am covered by light. I am shielded by truth. What is mine returns. What is not mine leaves. What is written for me lives. And so it is, and so it shall be. Thank you, One Dream, for deleting Gary, that fake Gary. Oh, thank you, Joe. Oh, let me copy that. Oh, that's so interesting. There's a service called Nightbot that acts as a moderator also and a flag next to the spam bot's name. Interesting. I'm copying that link into an email for myself so I have time to when I have time to look at it. Hmm. It's not a spam. That's who I think it is. Hi, River Bluff. Welcome. That's who I think it is. Yes. It's just like him. Either he's been employed again, but yes, that's exactly who it feels like to me. It's the same tactics, it's the same form of harassment, but that's okay. Um, I filed 3 complaints with the FCC today. Hi, KG. Welcome. Welcome. Just remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Right now, all the moderators, there is a bot, a cyberstalker, Gary Coleman, who's come in. Here you go. This creature, anytime you see this creature, he keeps coming in under different names. It's all Gary Coleman. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Nerve Gorilla. Yeah, the Gorilla Boy. Oh yeah, yeah. He loved the videos I created about him, and the fact that I called the police department where he lives and filed a complaint, and then I filed a complaint with the attorney general here too. Yeah, exactly. It's a war, a spiritual war between me and 600 individuals. Have no fear of them. Bunch of little cowards. Oh, thank you, One Dream. Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you? I saw a video, One Dream. I saw a video of you with your face talking. It was the video, the most recent video that you posted about something about evil, but you weren't showing your face there. But on the Ocho, Texas channel, the Texas Ocho channel, he had a video of you. It's like I've never seen that video on her channel before. And what these creatures do when they come into the live, oh, the in the last oh, in my last video? Oh, I sent it to you. I sent you didn't receive my email? Was that okay, well, one second. Let me just check my mail. What I sent you today. Um, let's see. I sent you the ChatGPT spiritual harassment log. It was a log. One second. You didn't receive it? Okay, what it was spiritual harassment and symbolic intrusion log sheet. It was a template, and there was a checklist. The checklist was a type of occurrence. Check all that apply. Dead animal placement, symbolic objects, bones, feathers, dolls, jars, raw meat or spoiled food dumping, rock or dirt displacement, tree damage or burning, water flooding or diversion, feces, soil, paper, bodily waste. Um, Let me see. Bullet holes, weapon threats, chanting or ritualistic sounds, surveillance or intimidation, dream intrusion or psychic interference or other. Is that the list, SDL? Yeah, I sent you. Yes, okay, good. Yeah, I sent you 2 emails. Thank you for getting rid of Gary Coleman, who's just threatening, like posting threatening messages. That's Oh, you got it. Oh, good, good. So you know what happened? This is what I'm surmising about this creature that's harassing me now. The neighbors are all sold out already. I have too much evidence on them harassing and stalking me, including neighborhood wars. So now they're getting these unknown people to harass me via phone. Like the phone, I just received a phone call from one of these creatures. I'll read the phone number: 346-447-4231. This is a spam call from a cyberstalker. Area code 346. So I'll report this to the FCC. And this is another thing, it's interfering. And then there's a text message that says, so anyway, let's get on with our chat here. This person is obviously set up to interfere with the live stream because, oh, you got it, good. So let's see what other questions that I asked ChatGPT. I'm going to put my phone on silence. Let's see. In fact, that's what we're going to do. Or in fact, I can actually turn my phone off. Okay, so my phone is turned off now. River Bluff says, had the same thing when I lived in South Carolina apartments. There were at least 12 other apartments there taking turns watching me. It is ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. I cannot believe this is happening in this country. This is ridiculous. Okay, I just received a text message from one of our subscribers that said, I saw you have moderators now. My guess is that I'm not cleared to engage in conversation during your Saturday night, which I'd love to do, by the way. Please look into it. God bless. I don't know what name Um, I don't know what name it's under. That they did the same thing here, Amy. Exactly. They do the same thing, like what you described, Amy. Any targeted person that owns a house or lands or whatever, that's exactly what they do. They poison trees, they kill the shrubs, they contaminate food infestations, and so on. They drill holes. Hi, Soul Not for Sale. Welcome, welcome. Well, it's so much easier for them, right? When you're home, they don't have to spend as much money because when you're driving around, they have to get a whole bunch of people to follow you around. Well, I asked GROK about pathological jealousy because I feel that many of the individuals that are involved in harassing us, not all of them, but they're very jealous. And that has a lot to do with the blocking and sabotaging of our destiny, etc. There's pathological jealousy. It's often called morbid or delusional jealousy. It's an extreme form of jealousy that goes beyond typical relationship insecurities. It's characterized by irrational, obsessive thoughts about a partner's infidelity, often without evidence, leading to significant distress and dysfunctional behavior. So, this tends to occur mostly in interpersonal relationships, like romantic relationships. But I feel that many of these character traits, this pathological jealousy, is involved in our harassment and the stalking of us. So, some of the key features are irrational beliefs. Individuals may firmly believe their partner is unfaithful even when evidence contradicts this. These thoughts can be obsessive and intrusive. Emotional and behavioral impact. It can lead to intense emotions like anger, fear, or sadness, and behaviors such as constant checking, monitoring texts, emails, or social media, accusations, or even violence in severe cases. It's delusional in nature. In some cases, it's linked to delusional disorders where jealousy is based on fixed false beliefs. Um, they commented on the Othello syndrome, named after Shakespeare's character. This can actually involve hallucinations or misrepresentations of the neural events as proof of infidelity, or I guess in the stalker's instance, proof of whatever it is that they were told to believe about us, all the false information that was mentioned. Some of the associated conditions with pathological jealousy, it's often tied to mental health issues like personality disorders, borderline paranoid or narcissistic personality disorders, psychotic disorders like schizophrenia or delusional disorder. Substance use, alcohol or drug use can exacerbate or trigger the symptoms, and neurological conditions that are linked to brain injuries, dementia, or conditions like Parkinson's disease in some cases. Some of the psychological factors are these people have low self esteem, they have attachment issues, they're anxious, they have past experiences of betrayal that can fuel pathological jealousy. Some of the biological factors are neurochemical imbalances like the dopamine dysregulation or brain abnormalities may contribute, especially in delusional cases. Emotional triggers like stress, relationship conflicts, or cultural factors emphasizing possessiveness can amplify jealousy. In relationships, the impact often leads to conflict, mistrust, and relationship breakdowns. Partners may feel controlled or unsafe. In the mental health, the individual may experience anxiety, depression, or paranoia, while the obsession consumes significant mental energy. Like Gary Coleman. I mean, the guy's obsessed. Just on the Gorilla Boy, oh, he was absolutely obsessed. But that's part of his behavior. And guess what? If you're rewarded for that behavior, it will persist. Social consequences, isolation, workplace issues, or legal problems from stalking or aggression can arise. Diagnosis to diagnose it, you typically assess by psychiatrists or psychologists through the clinical interview and history taking. The key criteria includes persistent, unfounded jealousy causing distress or impairment, often evaluated during diagnostic frameworks like the DSM. For example, under delusional disorder and the jealous type, differentiated from normal jealousy is in its intensity, lack of evidence, and resistance to reassurance. And how do you treat it? Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, helps challenge irrational thoughts and develop coping strategies. Couples therapy can address relationship dynamics in both partners are willing. And then, of course, there's the good old medication, antipsychotics, antidepressants, anti anxiety. And then addressing the underlying issues, treating substance abuse and neurological conditions if present. And this is for educational purposes only. It's not uh, medical advice or anything like that. I'm merely reading some information that ChatGPT provided. These individuals may resist treatment due to lack of insight into their condition, and partners may need support to cope with the emotional toll or to safely exhibit harmful situations. The prevalence, the exact numbers are hard to pin down, but it's more common in men, especially in cases tied to delusional disorders. Studies suggest that 0.5 to 1% of the population may experience delusional jealousy at some point. So I thought that was interesting. Hi, Red Dragon. Welcome, welcome. Yes, the family discount on troll channels. That's so funny. Oh, okay. Let me So there is somebody trying to get in the chat, Casper T. I know this person. This is not a bot or a troll. This is a real targeted person. So if this person, oh, I was reading. I asked ChatGPT a question about pathological jealousy. There are actually a lot of articles about pathological jealousy, but I was reading from ChatGPT and GROK, and that Gary Coleman. That's right. We keep exposing and speaking the truth. Yeah, so if this person, if Casper T comes into the chat, that's yes, or so I never saw it come in, but she said that she was blocked. Oh, let's get rid of this creepo. And to think that this person, he's impersonating a famous guy. He was even using his image. Like, I think that's reportable to YouTube. I'm wondering if maybe it's on her side that she can't get in the chat. Let's see. Oh, thank you, SDL, for that link. Thank you. On the Nightbot. Yeah, so Red Dragon, I was reading about pathological jealousy because I feel that many of these people are very jealous. And I saw and I wish I saved it. I just go through videos like crazy, and I don't jot them down because I get so much mail and I'm so busy. But I watched a video this week that 80% of the targeted people are due to jealousy. What are your thoughts on that? Because I experienced that absolutely in New Jersey, the jealousy. Yeah, exactly, KG. That's why the majority of targets are women. And I hate to say this, but men can be jealous of women too, and women can be jealous of men. Yeah, I had asked ChatGPT and GROK a few questions this week. Oh, okay, okay. So anyway, I just received an email that Casper was being blocked by YouTube and is just listening now. So I'd asked some questions this week. I asked about, the destiny theft, the pathological jealousy, and then I also asked about hate crime studies involving property, land, and real estate in rural communities. And this is through GROK. So now, when I switch to GROK, GROK doesn't know anything about me. When I go into ChatGPT has a long memory of the questions that I asked in the past, but Grok doesn't know anything about me. So I wanted to ask this question, and this is the response I received. Below, I provide a focused summary of hate crimes and information relevant to rural communities, specifically involving property, land, and real estate harassment or vandalism, based on the provided search results and broader context. The available data is limited, particularly for rural settings, but I've synthesized relevant findings and highlighted gaps for further exploration. I've also incorporated insights from the search results where applicable, ensuring critical examination of the information. Overview of hate crimes involving property, land, and real estate in rural communities. Hate crimes are criminal acts motivated by bias against a person or group's protected characteristics, for example, race, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, ethnicity, disability. When targeting property, land, or real estate, these crimes often involve vandalism, destruction, arson, or harassment, for example, intimidation threats, and can have profound impacts on victims and communities, signaling exclusion or vulnerability. In rural communities, hate crimes may be underreported due to isolation, distrust of authorities, or fear of retaliation, making data sparse. The concept of real estate mobbing, organized harassment to force residents out of their homes or land, may overlap with hate crimes when motivated by bias, but specific studies on this in rural contexts are scarce. Yeah, because nobody reports it. So, some of the relevant studies and findings of hate crimes in rural communities is the University of Leicester in 2015. A report by the University of Leicester's Center for Hate Studies highlighted that members of the LGBT community in rural UK communities face frequent hate crimes, including harassment and vandalism. The study noted that these incidents are significantly underreported due to fears that reporting could escalate the harassment. While the study focuses on the UK, it suggests rural areas may have unique dynamics, such as tight knit communities amplifying the bias or isolation, reducing reporting. That's absolutely true. And then there's a Canadian study in 2021. A study in Victims of Crime Research Digest examined hate crimes in Georgina, Ontario, a small rural community, population of 42,000. It's documented attacks on Asian anglers from the Greater Toronto Area, including property damage, harassment motivated by racial bias. The study used a mixed methods approach by the Center for Community Based Research, finding that rural hate crimes often target non residents perceived as quote unquote outsiders. It also raised questions about why targeted communities underutilize support resources and whether rural hate crimes have distinct impacts compared to urban ones. Property and land related hate crimes. The FBI, my favorite bureau, FBI hate crime statistics in 2023. According to the FBI, property crimes, vandalism, destruction, arson constitute a significant portion of hate crimes. 73.1% of property related hate crimes involve destruction or vandalism. While not specific to rural areas, these crimes often target homes, religious sites, or community spaces aligning with real estate harassment. For example, a reported arson case targeted a group home for people with psychiatric disabilities, motivated by community opposition to its presence, with neighbors expressing intent to burn them out. In New York State in 2024, a New York State Controller's report noted that 12.7% increase in hate crimes in 2023, and property crimes, vandalism, arson being common. Though the report focuses more on urban areas, the rural cases involve similar acts such as vandalism of minority owned properties or religious sites, but specific rural data is limited. Then there were anti Semitic incidents between 2017 and 2020. The Anti Defamation League, the ADL, reported 2,000 anti Semitic incidents in 2017 to 2018, including vandalism of synagogues and Jewish owned properties, some in rural and suburban areas. While not exclusively rural, these incidents highlight how property damage can be a tool of bias motivated harassment. Real estate mobbing is a hate crime. The UN report on forced evictions. The United Nations document on forced evictions notes that property related harassment, including vandalism, disproportionately affects marginalized groups. And who are the marginalized groups? Women and minorities. While not rural specific, this suggests that real estate harassment in rural areas could target similar groups, especially where land disputes or economic motives intersect with bias. Then there's the blog on being mobbed. As noted in the previous response, this blog describes real estate mobbing as organized harassment to force tenants or homeowners out, involving vandalism, surveillance, and intimidation. When motivated by bias, targeting minorities or renters, it may qualify as a hate crime. The blog cites cases in urban settings like Seattle, but there are rural parallels exist where communities' opposition to quote unquote outsiders, immigrants, or minorities leads to property harassment. There are no peer reviewed studies specifically on rural real estate mobbing, but the blog's framing aligns with hate crime definitions when bias is evident. I don't know, that sounds like an opening to write a book. Social and community dynamics. Social disorganization theory. A study testing Shaw and McKay's theory found that rural communities with low economic status, ethnic heterogeneity, ugh, heterogeneity, or residential mobility may foster conditions for hate crimes, including property vandalism due to social disorganization. This could apply to rural land disputes where newcomers or minorities face hostility. Community support for hate crimes. A 2023 PNAS study in Germany found that 14 to 19% of citizens across demographics endorsed hate crimes against refugees, including property damage, and in rural areas, defensive hate crimes. 25% of the cases are motivated by perceptions of quote unquote protecting the community from outsiders, potentially targeting minority owned land or properties. Then, of course, there's the educational disparities. In 2008, the UK study linked hate crimes, including vandalism, to areas with wide educational disparities, which are common in rural settings. This suggests that rural communities with uneven access to education may see higher rates of bias motivated property crimes. You know, like that video where my sorry ass neighbor is screaming at the top of her lungs, I don't know where you got your money from, but we work hard for our money. It's like, fuck you, bitch. You know nothing about how I earn my money. I earn my money by getting several degrees, you stupid ass bitch. Just saying. And having my own businesses. Rural specific challenges, underreporting. Rural hate crimes, particularly properly related ones, are underreported due to distrust in law enforcement, fear of retaliation, or lack of awareness of what constitutes a hate crime. Well, I'm going to add to that. It is underreported because when I reported to the sheriff, they don't take photos of the vandalism. They don't report the vandalism. It's not in any of their statistical reporting. It's not only underreported, it's falsely reported. It's being hidden from view. They don't want anybody to know about the crimes taking place here and likely other people. Isolation and community dynamics. Rural areas, tight knit nature can amplify the bias with defensive hate crimes targeting perceived outsiders, immigrants, minorities moving into rural land. The Canadian study on Asian anglers highlighted how rural communities may view non residents as threats, leading to vandalism or harassment. And then there's the lack of resources. Rural areas often lack dedicated hate crime units or reporting mechanisms, unlike urban centers like New York or Boston. There are a lot of gaps. There are very limited rural studies. Real estate mobbing. There's no peer-reviewed study specifically addressing rural real estate mobbing. Destiny theft, as noted previously, this term lacks academic grounding, but it could relate to property harassment or vandalism that disrupts life opportunities, forcing someone off their land. But there are no studies directly addressing this in rural contexts. The FBI and DOJ data provide national statistics, but rarely disaggregate rural versus urban incidents. And of course, the reporting is biased because I can tell you how many times I've reported vandalism here, trespassing, and nothing gets done about it. And what about the flash grenade that was thrown on my driveway? Nothing was done about it. It wasn't even accurately documented in the incident report. It was a completely fabricated lie. So anyway, I'm not seeing anybody else's. Let's see. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm not seeing any more. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Lioness. Welcome. Welcome. You know what was happening? My chat log was not scrolling. I couldn't see anything new. Yep, that's exactly what they do on Dream. You're welcome. You know what it was? As I was reading, the chat was not scrolling up. Like, I didn't see any new comments. Now, kindness is not ignorance. This is the first rural area I've ever lived in. I've mostly lived in the suburbs, and I lived in New York City for a while. Is that a threat, Gary Coleman? Yeah, so I first reported Gary Coleman to YouTube before I deleted his message. So I reported him, and then yes, and then blocked. Oh, is that right? The creepy voice? Oh, that's so interesting. See, because as I was reading, I wasn't looking at the chat, and then after I finished reading, I go to the chat, and it's like it never scrolled up. I didn't see any of your conversation. Oh, good. Okay. So is the creepy voice there now? All you know what all of this is? This is also not only it's intimidation and harassment and all that stuff, threats, but it's also just to disrupt the chat, the flow of things, because we always have a really nice chat, and they don't like that. They don't want us connecting, so they're throwing their little cyberstalker wrench, Gary Coleman, who could very well be that other creature, the gorilla creature. I call him the gorilla boy because that's what he is, a boy. He's just a little weenie boy. All of them. Anybody that harasses and threatens a woman, like a senior woman, is really, there's something wrong with that person. There's something incredibly wrong with that person. It's sort of like, I don't know, I grew up respecting my elders. I can't even imagine, like, if my grandma were alive, like, ever talking to my grandma like that. Like, never. In fact, like my Italian grandma, she would slap me. Right, but no, well, Gary is not speaking intelligently. He is threatening. He's threatening me, and I have threatening messages on my cell phone now too. Just so you know. I turned my phone off so that it wouldn't interrupt me with the text messages and the bells going off on my phone. No, the threatening messages are via text, via phone call, voice message, and also on in the comments section of my videos. And the videos may have absolutely nothing to do with anything that's going on here. Like I posted the video of Deborah Florian's testimony, had absolutely nothing to do with this with me. And they kept leaving comments under the testimony and downvoting all the videos. And that's exactly what the cyber stalkers do. Is they leave comments, automatically downvote the video by their 25 alter egos. Well, that's true. Yes. I don't know if it helps. But I think when YouTube finds out that there is somebody using the same name, like it's actually impersonating a famous person, and all the spam messages, they're not just spam. It's not just spamming. It's threatening messages. That's not allowed on YouTube. Yes, yes. You watch. I'm going to turn my phone on and see how many messages I have. 1 second. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. It doesn't matter who is being bullied or who's doing the bullying, I think it needs to be reported all the time. I agree. And I don't care that these people are getting paid to do this. It's just, no matter how you look at it, it's wrong. Yeah, I just received the three text messages when I turned on the phone. Okay, this is another new phone number, 805-413-3373. Sent me a really nasty message that I'll be reporting to the FCC. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the weird thing about YouTube is that they will take down videos and stuff about you. You're saying like the wrong word about something, but yet there is so much cyber stalking going on YouTube, and other YouTube creators comment on it on their channels. I don't even know what to say about it. There isn't a really good method. There really is not a good method for reporting cyber stalking. And, like providing YouTube the evidence of cyber stalking. So there's not a good method for handling it there. And the only way maybe is to find a physical mailing address, gather up all of your evidence, and send a certified letter to YouTube. That's the only thing I could think of. Oh, KJ, I would love to learn that about that. KJ, you're going to do a video on that? Yes, I believe that it's like that with all of us. Well, KG, you can do a live and do that and have it recorded that way. Hey guys, I've got a voicemail. Do you want to listen to this voicemail from a creepo? Let's see. No message, just a phone call. Let's see. All right, this I've got to block this person. 1 second. 1 second. No, I have not changed my number. I have not changed my number. You know what? I don't believe that changing my number is going to change anything. Well, it may temporarily, but it'll just start all over again and just cause people a lot of problems. Just causes a lot of problems. I've had my phone number for a long time and I'm not going to change it because some losers look for it, some cyber stalkers or these local people or whatever. I don't even, I think this is one of those cyber stalkers like the Gorilla Boy. That's who I think it is. I think it's a stupid ass Gorilla Boy. He probably needed a little bit more money and needed a new job. Well, if you want to know about Canada, we've got a couple of targeted people. Bobby, who has her channel, which is SHP. Exactly, Nick. It doesn't matter. That's why I said it. Like it really doesn't matter. Um, I'm not going to go changing my phone number because these creeps have been after me. It's their problem. It's not my problem. These are sick people, sick, depraved lunatics. But I will be right back. Oh, that's so interesting, River Bluff. Yes, I've noticed that. I've noticed that. Like right now, I see that there are 17 people. I mean, but it is midnight, and sometimes people who join in at around 10 o'clock, by midnight, they're doing other things. They're going to sleep. They're at different parts of the world, etc. Hi, Rubia. Welcome. Welcome. Just to fill you in, I was reading some information from ChatGPT on pathological jealousy, and then whether or not ChatGPT is programmed by targeted individuals or neural networks. And then I've got a cyberstalker who's been infiltrating the chat, and fortunately, all of the moderators got on his case. You did not bring this on yourself. You did not bring this on yourself. Yeah, jealous losers. Well, they look at kindness as a weakness. I've sold not for sale. I have seen that Cyberstalker before, but since Tuesday of this week, it's been quite pernicious. It's been, leaving comments everywhere, and then infiltrated the chat this evening. But under many names, Gary Coleman, and then the last three numbers, letters changed each time. Yeah, there are a lot of people waking up to what's going on. And, I make sure to leave comments on non-targeted people's YouTube channels too. I mean, we all come into this lifetime with certain qualities and character traits, strengths, weaknesses, whatever, and opportunities. Everybody has an opportunity to do something in this lifetime. And if other people choose not to expand their horizons, grow, it's not my problem. It's not your problem. But these criminals, and that's what they are, they're losers. They want to make their sorry lives everybody else's problem by stealing what is rightfully yours, your destiny, what you came here to do. I mean, I've mentioned this before that when I moved to this small town, you would think that, everybody just allegedly loved the former owner. You would think that they would have had a memorial set up for him, um, a Facebook page, but there was nothing. Nobody in this small community ever created a Facebook page, ever created a memorial page for the former owner. And this property was vacant almost a year and a half. So there was plenty of time for somebody to do it, but nobody ever did. So it took me. I did it. And then they get pissed off. Well, what have these people been doing with their time? It's like they want to get involved in community, but they don't. It's a farce. It's an absolute farce. KG says, yes, they are, because they're so miserable and they see us as kind and happy and emotionally stable despite horrific things that we live through. And we're still kind. And they're jealous. Nick says, come to think of it, every property I've ever owned, people have given me trouble in some way, shape, or form. Soul Not for Sale says, I saw the lovely tribute you made referring to him and giving him his well deserved flowers. I think you and him would have been good friends. That's the irony of it all. I agree. Um, the one thing about purchasing property from somebody who's passed away, the sons did not clean it up. They left pretty much everything exactly as it was. So I came into this property as if I was living in somebody else's house. I found all of his documents. I found letters. I found gifts that he received that were never opened. They were still in the box, brand new. I saw commendations that he received, letters from the presidents, different presidents. I learned so much about him. And he built all of these buildings, and in every building that he built, he left a hammer and a little paper bag of nails. In every building, I found a hammer and a little paper bag of nails, and on almost every porch, there was a straw broom. The criminals stole half of the brooms and cut the other brooms in half. These were all vintage brooms in excellent condition, stolen, vandalized. But he was such a cute little old, he was a cute man, and he had a great sense of humor. Another thing that he left behind is he'd leave had dozens of empty jars of peanut butter. Yeah, so what is the name of your channel? Soul Not for Sale. Is that the name of your channel? I mean, you can post a link in the comment section to your channel. Oh, it's one soul not for sale. Is it easy to find? Because sometimes I'll go looking for targeted channels and I cannot find them unless I have like a direct link for it. Do you like Sold Not for Sale? Do you like StreamYard? I think that that's a better platform than the Zoom. I think that there are more options with it. Sold not for sale. Could you email me the information? Friday night, 9 p.m. Okay, good, good. One Dream says one truth is fact. Nothing in this society is what we were told, and quite the opposite. The good guys are not good. Unfortunately, that's true. Unfortunately, that was a rude awakening for me. When I woke up this morning to feed the animals outside, I intentionally closed my door last night. The raccoons were driving me nuts. I had raccoon paw prints all over my door. They literally knock on the door for food. It's ridiculous. What? Where did you hear that? Blue Illuminati? You mean blue Deluminati? No, I've not heard of that. Is that new? Blue Illuminati? Oh my goodness. Well, I don't call them there's nothing illuminated again about these people. Nothing. That's why I call them dull Illuminati. Dull. 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 Delusionati. That's a good one too. That's a good one. That's so weird. They really think they're special, huh? Well, that's okay. What most of them don't realize is that they're being used also, and that most of them will never receive their pensions. They just won't. I've seen it happen repeatedly. Hi, business owners, welcome. I didn't see the film. I had the book at one time. I haven't seen it since I'm living here. Nick says, one big criminal gang. Let's just call them the Brotherhood from Hell. That's funny. That's funny. Does anybody know when the does anybody know when they started calling themselves the Thin Blue Line, and where did that come from? They created their own flag. Yes, a sticker. Yes. In New Jersey, the windshields were covered with those stickers. Covered. I don't really see that here, although I don't travel around that much. Yeah, I'm not going to mention Nick, if you can find who that is. I mean, I'm not a technical person. There has to be a way of finding out who that creature is. There's a guy on YouTube, he's called the Ethical Hacker, and I forget his name. I should contact him. In fact, I'm going to go look it up. Cyber. Well, how do you cyber forensics? But also all of the phone numbers that I received today on my phone, not only text messages but phone calls, all different phone numbers. I reported 3 of them. I filed 3 FCC complaints today. It's a lot easier to report to the FCC from your phone, and they allow you to attach screenshots. And there's an AI lawyer that will take our case, fill out the paperwork, and walk your case through settlement. It's real lawyers use. The live chat is AI only. They get 10% of your settlement. Well, that would be interesting. AI lawyer. Do you have a link, business owners? Do you have a link to that AI lawyer? If you have the link, you can post it in the chat. if anyone harassing me is licensed, and oh yes, well my neighbor, yeah, my neighbor's a nurse, but unfortunately, like I try to report her, and the process, it's almost like filing a lawsuit. It was absolutely absurd. And I did file a complaint with the veterinary board. They never got back to me. Business owner says there are 40 companies that use the ATIXRISS app. I'm going to sue all 40 of them. Oh, one dream, please tell me. It feels like it's him. He probably needed some more money. They gave him some time off and now he's back. But instead of a gorilla, now he's like a celebrity. MincLaw is one company. MincLaw. Mink Law. Nick, my local sheriff is not going to track down any Gary Coleman. Do you know when I reported the Gorilla Boy? Oh, they said it's out of their jurisdiction. I said, no, it is not out of your jurisdiction. I live here. So then I called the state in which the creature lives and filed a complaint against him there. And they said, well, you need to file a complaint with your own sheriff department. I said, yeah, well, they're telling me it's not in their jurisdiction. And the woman that I spoke to, she says, well, that's not true. So they were just trying to pass the buck here. Now, my local sheriff's department is useless. Useless. But unfortunately, I don't even think it's the sheriff's department that's making all these um, is doing all this damage, or I should say, is not reporting it accurately. I think that they're getting their orders from someone else. Yes, 25 alter egos. Yep. Well, I think business, I think that's a great idea that there are AI attorneys. I mean, that's perfect for targeted people. Does anybody want me to read some more from the criminal fraternity, servants of the lie? Oh, really? KG says the Human Rights Watch did a report on gang stalking years ago. I worked with them on another issue and was interviewed and published a couple years ago. Do you have a copy of that? I agree with you, Nick. I really wish the ACLU would update their Trapped in a Black Box. Have you all read that? If you haven't read the ACLU's Trapped in a Black Box Growing Terrorism Watch Listing, you have to read it. I think I have 3 or 4 videos about it on my channel. Oh, that's so horrible. Yes, and Nick says that there is not a punishment great enough, strict enough for these people. I agree. I absolutely agree. And you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody in a position of control told these people. If they're so mindless, so brainless, so thoughtless, so empty that they believe what they hear without performing research, then they deserve what they get. And they'll be getting theirs. They think that what they're doing to us will not be punished. What are they kidding? Okay, so business owner says go to Bounce Black, Google search it. A former congresswoman said she was under surveillance and gang stalked 2 days after leaving Congress. She has 10 templates on how to report and sue. Oh, that is amazing. Okay, let me just cut and paste this. See if I can cut and paste this and send it to myself. Okay. And let me just scroll up here about that other law thing. MincLaw. Okay. MincLaw. Thank you so much for that information. Go to Bounce Black, former Congresswoman. I will definitely look that up. I cut and pasted that information to myself. Well, I think that when I read about hate crimes, that the true definition of hate crime is not expansive enough. Oh, thank you. Bounce Black Resources, organized harassment. Oh, cool. I'm just going to put it in the chat so that everybody sees that again. Oh, right, right. Yeah, I would not use it on YouTube. Yeah, I would use Google or another platform to search for it. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That's really good information. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Random real news. Well, welcome. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't see this, random real news says, word is it that Monkey Boy got a mail order bride, a mail order bride, or had one. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. So he got one from another country. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. That's why we all didn't hear from him. He was too, too busy involved in his romance. Oh my goodness. I just don't understand how somebody can be so cruel, you know? Like even like the malignant narcissists that have YouTube channels. I mean, they're pretty cruel. They're pretty nasty. They're pretty uncaring and cold, like really chilling. But these cyberstalkers, they're really obnoxious, like beyond obnoxious. Mail order bride. That's too funny. Well, everybody, it's 12:44 p.m. We've been here for more than 2 hours. YouTube says it's been 2 hours and 45 minutes. So thank you all for chiming in tonight for all of the good information, and thank you for putting up with this the Coleman person who chimed in. I don't know how many times, like a dozen times. So, like to recap here, like we've got Bounce Black, a former congresswoman, said she was under surveillance and gang stalked 2 days after leaving Congress. She has 10 templates on how to report and sue. It's Bounce Black Resources Organized Harassment. And KJ, I hope you could find that information. That would be great. So thank you everybody for chiming in for all the good information that you provided. I hope everybody has a good night. And I'm going to good night, good night, good night. I'm going to sign off the live. Elsie, KG, business owners, Nick, Lioness, good night, good night. Thank you, moderators, for helping Joe and Dream You. Welcome. Yes. Good night. Good night. And thank you, everybody, for getting rid of the Coleman, the Gary Coleman person.